Okay, my cat just decided, yeah. All right, I guess it's, we have kitty races going on, so. Whoops. Good morning, everyone. It's Clutch here from the Sodak Motorcycle Blog. How are you today? I know it's been a while since I've talked to you. Actually, the last video you saw was a video that I recorded way back in September. Calm down. Like I said before, we got kitty races going on. So the last video I recorded was way back in September. So this is probably the closest to live that you've seen me talk for probably quite a long time. It is the 16th of January, Sunday morning. So got the coffee cup here, got some really good coffee. And it's actually not Sturgis coffee, it's regular old Starbucks coffee, but it's still pretty good coffee nonetheless, which, by the way, a good coffee shop in Sturgis is Sturgis Coffee Company. All right, so I really struggled this week. I was really trying to find something to talk about. That's what happens when you record videos almost, 3, 4, 5 months ahead and don't really make any videos for a while, and then you gotta kind of come up with something really quick. But I was sitting here thinking about it, and I come across a picture of myself, and I actually put it up in my office. It's of me in 2004 on my first motorcycle, a Honda CX500. So that was 03, so that was 18 years ago now. And we've had, well, that one, XJ550, V-Star 1100, Goldwing 1500, and a Goldwing 1800 since then. We've put on probably about 120,000 miles. I don't have the actual number for you. I didn't really sit down and try to figure it out because honestly, I don't have the mileage totals from anything else. But I feel like I've been on a bike for quite a while. A big part of my life has been spent on a motorcycle. And I just look at myself in that picture and think, man, I mean, you think I think I know everything, and I think I'm just the coolest guy in the world, and well, let's be honest, I'm not. And in those 18 years, well, let's go back to that bike for a second. It was a $700 motorcycle. I probably paid $700 more than it was actually worth. The speedometer was broken. I mean, it couldn't go over 45 miles an hour because it had a pretty rich fuel mixture, which I come to find out later. I mean, it was not a good buy. I should have never bought that stupid bike. At least knowing what I knew back then. But so, like I said, that 18 years, we've had quite a bit of changes. I remember back in 2003, 2004. I mean, choppers were all the rage. Like that was what you had. You had everybody that was cool had a chopper, and honestly, if you didn't have a chopper, you had a Heritage Softail or something like that. You didn't have a windshield, you didn't have bags. If you had a windshield and you had bags, I mean, people would think you were just the dumbest idiot on earth. And then if you dare had a fairing and a full dresser, I mean, oh my God, like what the heck was wrong with you, you old damn geezer? That's what the vibe was way back then. And it's just funny now because I remember a video back in 2020 riding through the rally and seeing a chopper, and I remember marking a video, oh, a chopper. Haven't seen one of them for a long time. I mean, they're just not the thing anymore. I remember a story Jerry Palladino talked about a friend of his that had bought a Arlen Ness chopper back in 2007 for like 80 grand, and within a year the thing was worth like less than 10. So, you know, choppers are basically dead now. That was one thing way back when. For those of you that don't remember, you know, take a look at, search American Chopper on YouTube and go back to like some of the first seasons, and you'll get an idea of what motorcycling was like back then. And including that, like the whole vibe has changed. It feels like it's I feel like it's more inclusive now. Like I remember back when I first started riding, it was, or at least around here, it was hard to get into it. Like for the most part, you had to know somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody else to get into it. I mean, granted, you know, they could go buy a bike, but I mean, and plenty of people did. They just go buy them and ride them without licensing or whatever. But if you wanted licensing or any training, it was kind of just a well-guarded secret that, you know, you just couldn't get in. I mean, myself, really, what got me into it was my father-in-law. And that was one of the things I did after I bought that bike, because I didn't have a license at that time. I had just the learner's permit. But when I came back, I rode with my father-in-law for 3 days, and that's how I got my license. I went down and just did the ride around block and got my license. You know, back then it wasn't really a big deal to go do the MSF or anything like that. I don't know if they were even having it available back then. I mean, it was just, like I said, it was kind of a, you know, you really had to know somebody, it seemed like, to get into it, or you had to have been in it like your whole life, like you grew up as a kid on dirt bike and all that stuff, because I did not grow up that way. I grew up, you know, the first bike I rode, the first time I ever actually rode a motorcycle was when I was testing out that CX500. Like, that was the first time I rode a bike. So it seems so much easier around here. Like, I just can go up on the internet, look it up, and I can have my course passed within, you know, get my course passed and have a bike within, you know, a couple weeks, depending on how quick your class is coming up. So it seems like it's a lot easier now to get involved in it. And with that, I think there's more training opportunities. There's more big time training opportunities. Maybe not in this area, but it's a lot more well known, all the training opportunities you can do. And actually it's pushed a lot more too. You know, that was one thing that never used to be pushed was, you know, training, go out and train, learn the right way. It was kind of a, well, just get on the thing and ride. You don't need to know how to ride in a parking lot to ride on the street, like that kind of vibe. You know, there's more helmets now. It used to be, I mean, I remember it was very rare you would see someone wearing a helmet on a motorcycle. It was very odd, except for maybe when it was cold, but for the most part, you just did not see them. And I'd say now I bet you 60-70% of the people I see at rally are actually wearing them. And also there's more gear in general now too. Just a lot more gear options. You can get a lot better gear now. You know, it used to be, you know, go find your cheap leather jacket and your cheap chaps at like the random, you know, Packy leather store or whatever, you know, hot leathers down in Sturgis. That, or you could go to like the Harley Davidson dealership and buy a $300-$400 coat and a $200 pair of chaps, and you know, those were your options back then. But now it's like you can get whatever gear whenever you want it. A lot of that's thanks to the internet, thanks to companies like Revzilla. You can go on right now. I can order myself a full motorcycle gear setup and have it delivered to my door probably by this coming Wednesday. And it's Sunday now, so that's the other thing that really has changed. Like, it just, there's so many more options. Another big thing I've seen change since I started was just the amount of women you see riding now. Just so many. It used to be you'd see a bike and you'd see a husband and you'd see a wife on the back. And that was kind of how it was. That was always what you saw. I mean, every once in a while you'd see a woman on a bike. For the most part, you just rarely saw it. And this was even back in 2003. You know, to the point where when my wife had her motorcycle endorsement, when a few times I was gone and she was riding my bike around, she had issues with all the squids in the crotch racket club and Spearfish following her around town every time she'd ride, like just follow her around, like creepy like. So, you know, like I said, that was just I can imagine it was a, whoa, there's a chick riding a bike, bro. You know, that kind of thing. But now that couple you used to see, well, now they got two bikes, you know, husband and a wife riding, and they're probably both riding big full dresser motorcycles. Another big thing has changed is, well, back in 2003, there wasn't a YouTube. Like, I'm pretty sure YouTube didn't exist till 2005, I think it was. I can't remember what year it was, but so literally there was your only option to find anything motorcycle related on the internet is you had to search it. Like I had a heck of a time searching how to change the oil on my V-Star 1100. There was just nothing there to tell you how to do it, no videos. But now you could turn on motorcycle videos, and I think you'd be watching motorcycle videos for weeks or months, just nonstop. There's just so much content out there now, and you know, and just on YouTube in general, and just everywhere in general. There's so much content now. You got your motorcycle repair groups now on Facebook. Like, it's so nice now. You can actually reach out, join a certain group. You can reach out right now, ask a question, and you know, there's a 50-50 shot you're going to have the right answer within probably an hour or so. I mean, granted, you're also going to have 50% of like a lot of idiots talk, but you know, that's just kind of part of the internet. But it's so awesome. You got all that content now. I can work on my own motorcycle now. That's another big thing that's changed. I went from, I barely knew what to do on it and put almost $700 worth of work into that CX500 to get it running right, and it still never had a speedometer that could work because the dealer just wouldn't replace it because they didn't want to do it. I've gone from that to now, you know, I can do just about any task that you can think of on a motorcycle. You know, I haven't done any major engine rebuilds yet, which fortunately I've never had to. That's one thing I hope I never have to do that, to be honest with you. But there's so many things I can do now where, I'll be honest with you, I really only need that dealer to just go buy parts if I want to support them and go buy parts. Otherwise, I don't need a dealership for anything anymore. And honestly, I think it's kind of awesome, especially when, you know, your labor rates are getting into the, you know, $120, $150 an hour range, and the person working on your bike is probably some 20-year-old that thinks he knows everything, that just graduated MMI last year, and you know, but he knows everything, but he's afraid to even, you know, touch a Honda Goldwing because of all the plastic that's on it, even though it's not that hard to do. But that is a whole different rant for a whole different video. Other thing that's changed is really my mentality with riding. Just my mentality in general. I went from being the kid that, you know, what I cared about was loud pipes and, you know, having a cool looking motorcycle, to now, like, the first purchase I would do on any motorcycle now is I'd ride the bike for about 100, 200 miles, see kind of where my seating position is, take some pictures and send that seat off to Russell Daylong and have him rebuild it. Because it just, you know, I can tell you, motorcycle seat comfort is everything. And I'm talking to you, 22-year-old. There's going to come a day where you're going to meet someone and he or she is going to want to ride with you, but is not going to want to ride with you because, by God, the seat on that motorcycle sucks. I'm telling you right now, get ready. Just spend the money, buy a good seat. Don't disregard what they think just because they're just the passenger, don't know nothing. Because here's the deal, in the end, a lot of you, if your significant other can't go with you, you ain't riding, and that really sucks. So I'm just telling you right now, get to a point where you're going to want a comfy seat. And let's be honest, you're not getting any younger. So the day is going to come where you're going to finally buy a comfy seat, and then you're going to do what I did after I rode with it for a while and go, why didn't I do this sooner? So the gear is very important to me now. Like I said before, I went from the guy that never rode with a helmet or anything. It was, you know, like, I loved hot days because I could ride in jeans and a t-shirt, and that's what I rode in. I went from that to now pretty much if I'm on the bike, I've got everything on, and I'm talking helmet, jacket, pants, boots, and gloves. Like, just, and that for me, that's something that's completely changed. I've become a more disciplined rider. I went from being the one that, you know, sitting there not paying attention to what he's doing, getting mad at cars for cutting me off, you know, getting mad at stupid people for not seeing your motorcycle, all that dumb trash. I've went from that to just being disciplined and riding better, riding more defensively, trying to ride good, making it my absolute end of the day goal to never be in another motorcycle wreck, period. I don't ever want to be in one again. Like, I've been in one and that was enough. I don't ever want to be in another one. I don't blame cagers for my problems anymore. When a car pulls out in front of me, I don't get mad at them, because in the end it's, you know, it's a big deal to me, but in the end it's not, you know, that's, you ride better and you move on. You know, it doesn't do you any good to stop and honk your horn at them and try to pick a fight with a vehicle that basically has a roll cage around them, weighs probably 1.5 tons, whereas you weigh maybe 800 pounds at most. In the end, I know unintentional blindness is a thing, regardless of what your favorite motorcycle attorney has said. Unintentional blindness is a thing, and you gotta just ride with knowing that, yep, it is a thing, and be prepared. You know, be prepared for people to be dumb, because that's just the way it is. Another thing is with that mentality is, like, I understand the value of practice now. I learned it firsthand in that near miss in Colorado quite a few years ago. I'm pretty sure that had I not had any training at all, I'm pretty sure that I would have just dumped that bike, or I would have run the back in that car, or done something even worse. So I think practice is absolutely valuable, and you need to do it as much as you can, because it could save your life eventually. Do I have any regrets? I do. I have a few. You know, I think a big one is I really wish I would have learned to work on my own motorcycle a lot sooner. I wish I would have done that. Because I would really love to have a second chance at CX500, just to see what I could do to it. If nothing else, just you know, tear it all apart, learn how to rebuild the motorcycle engine, something like that. Because I don't know, I think that would have been fun to do. I wish when I was younger, I wish I would have went more places. I wish I would have just taken opportunities to do, you know, pack up the tent and go camp in the Badlands or something one weekend. Just, you know, do some different stuff. I wish I would have done some more of that sooner. I kind of just stayed around here a lot. I didn't ride to as many places as I would have wanted to. And, you know, I wish I would have started doing that sooner. With that, I wish I would have bought a Goldwing a lot sooner. Like, absolutely. Like, once I got on it, you know, it's like, why didn't I buy one of these sooner? And a lot of it was I couldn't get over the whole, oh, they look like an old person's bike and all that stupid trash. And with that, I think I spent way too much time worrying what other riders thought of me, when frankly I should have just been worried about myself and having more fun. You know, you do stuff like I spent all that money on those pipes for that V-Star 1100. You know, it was $300 for the pipes. I think the jet kit was $100. Then I had to find someone else to help me out to actually, because I didn't know what the heck I was doing with the carburetor and how to rejet it. And just, it was a lot of pain and a lot of pain in the ass to what I think in the back of my mind was I was trying to make the stupid thing a Harley. And frankly, that was never going to be a Harley. First of all, it wasn't a 45-degree V-twin, so it's never going to have that sound. No matter what you're going to do, it's never going to replicate it. And I really think that was just some of that just being young and stupid. And, you know, I'd say to young rider, find what you like to do and just do what you want to do. Who cares what anybody else says? Don't try to impress anybody. And I think some of that, I think it was just some of it just in part of for writing and also life in general. You know, just do what you want to do what makes you happy. Because in the end, you're the one that's got to go home every day at looking yourself in the mirror and, you know, appreciate yourself. So, you know, those are probably the biggest regrets I have. And, you know, otherwise, you know, I don't have a lot of other regrets. I got one more big regret. I really wish that day in the parking lot at the Culver's in Rapid City, I really wish I would have waited just an extra second for that stupid van to decide what they wanted to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to probably pop a little card up here or here. I don't know where it's going to pop up on YouTube. I'll pop up a little card that's going to go back to my first crash and, you know, just explain it. And you'll probably understand it a little more once I explain it. But, you know, I think that's all I got to say. This kind of became a a weird kind of ranty, odd, I don't know. This became kind of a weird video, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. So once again, I'd like to thank you for stopping by the Sodak Motorcycle blog. If you like this video, please like it. If you dislike this video, which I think a lot of you are gonna do, just go ahead and do it. It's okay. If you don't like it, that's fine. That is okay. But also, I'd appreciate it if you follow the Sodak Motorcycle blog. And if you want to hear when we got new videos come out, go ahead and turn on that notification icon. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Facebook and Instagram as well. Otherwise, my videos, they come up every Thursday at 7 o'clock Mountain Time here in the United States. So if you really want to keep an eye on it, there you go. Just playing your Thursdays around me. Otherwise, that's all I got for today. So we'll see you later.